Hello guys and welcome to another maths lesson. Now today's LA is to be able to multiply 3 digits by 1 digit. So today's aims, I want you guys to be able to multiply 3 digits by 1 digit using the multiplication method. And our success criteria is to use your timetable knowledge to work through the multiplication method and to also set out your method correctly using the knowledge from last lesson to work out the problems effectively. Now, as always in our maths lessons, we've got a fluency question on the left-hand side and a reasoning and problem solving over on the right-hand side. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to pause it, work through the problems, and then I can go through them on the next bit. Okay, guys, so pause. Okay, then, so let's go through it. So I'm going to move you over to my iPad. So on our fluency question, we have got 43 multiplied by 3. So firstly, I work out my ones. So I've got my ones over here and my tens. I first work out my ones, so that is 3 multiplied by 3. I know that that is 9. And then I move over to my tens, so I know that 4 multiplied by 3 must equal 12, but remember I need to multiply that by 10, so I know that is 120, so it's nice and easy, there is no exchanges needed at all. Then my next one, it says it was correct the multiplications, so it was 26 multiplied by 4, but they've got 824. I'm not sure that is the right answer, so I'm going to work this out again just to see what it says. So 6 multiplied by 4, one of that 6 multiplied by 4 is 24. So I am going to put my 4 into the ones column and I'm going to exchange my 20 underneath the tens. And then I work out, so 2 multiplied by 4, but remember 2 is in the tens, so it's actually 20 multiplied by 4. 20 multiplied by 4 is 80, but then I've got my 2, which I've exchanged under, so that is going to be 100. 104. Well done if you have got that right. Now again, this method is obviously the year 4 or even year 5 method of doing things, but if you would rather, you can also use the extended multiplication method to work these out. As long as you get the correct answer, that is absolutely fine. So in the fluency question, we've got 3 multiplied by 3. I've put that over just on my first line. 3 multiplied by 3, I know that that is 9. On my next line, I can do 3 multiplied by 40, I know that is 120. Remember, keeping my place value. Nice and easy, and then I can add these together, so I know that 9 plus 0 equals 9, 2 tens, and 100. As long as you get the same answer, you can do whichever method that you feel most comfortable with, okay? So, well done if you got that right. Well done. So the year 4 way of doing multiplication. So from last lesson, hopefully that you guys should be able to effectively multiply 2 digits by 1 digits with exchanging and things like that. So now we're going to move it up a level and we're going to have a go at doing a 3-digit multiplication. Now remember, this is the exact same method as the 2-digit with 1 digit, but all we do is we're adding in hundreds now. So it might seem a little bit confusing at first, but I promise you it's absolutely fine. Okay, so I've got my number, so 423 multiplied by 3. So my first step, remember in the last time, it is just to lay this out correctly. So I've got my ones all in line, my tens and my hundreds. So then my step after that, my first step, firstly work out the ones. So my ones, 3 multiplied by 3, and that would equal 9. Next, my tens. So I would need to work out my tens, so I would do 3 multiplied by 2, or multiplied by 20, because as it's in the tens column. 3 multiplied by 20, I know that is 60, so I would put the 6 into the tens over here. And then finally, I would need to work out the hundreds. So 4 multiplied by 3, I know that is 12, but remember, this is in the hundreds column, so I then need to multiply that answer by 100, or 400 multiplied by 3, I know that is 1,200. So let's see how I add this in. I'll put my 2 into the hundreds column and my 1 into my 1,000. It's just exactly the same as 2 digit by 1 digit, but instead now we're just adding on that extra hundreds column. Let's have another one. So 542 multiplied by 4. So then this is when our exchanging will need to come in. So firstly, remember, I've set this all out perfectly. Next, work out the ones. So 2 multiplied by 4, as this is in the ones column, and that is 8. Nice and easy. Next, I'm going to work out the tens. So I've got 4 tens multiplied by 4, or 40 multiplied by 4, and that is 160. So I will put my 6 in the tens column, my 60, and I would exchange my 100s into the 100s column. So I would exchange it under. Finally, work out my hundreds. 500 multiplied by 4, and that is 2,000. But remember, I've got my 1, so I will put my 1 into here, as I've got no other hundreds to add onto it, and I'll put my 2,000 into there. Another one that I could do, so 237 multiplied by 6. So remember, my first step, again, lay this out correctly, sorry. So my ones, my tens, my hundreds all laid out perfectly. First step, work out the ones. 7 multiplied by 6, and that is 42. So I put my 2 into the ones column, and I would exchange under my 4 tens into the tens column. Next, I would work out my tens. So 30 multiplied by 6. Well, I know that 3 times 6 is 18 from my TT Rockstars. 18 multiplied by 10 is 180. Remember, 180, my 8 is my tens. But remember, I've got this 4 underneath, so I would put my 2, because it would be 22 technically, or 220 here. So I'd put my 20 into here, and I'd exchange my 200s into the hundreds column. And then finally, I'd work out the hundreds. So I've got 6 times 200. So I know that 6 times 2 is 12. Multiply that by 100. Again, is 1,200. Add another 200, 1,400. So I put my 400 into the hundreds column, and my 1,000 into the thousands column. So now I've got 326 multiplied by 4. So first, again, work out the ones. So I know that 6 times 4 is 24. So I put my 4 into the ones column, and my 2, or my 20, sorry, would go into the tens column. Next, I would work out the tens. So 20 multiplied by 4. Well, I know that 2 times 4 is 8. 8 multiplied by 10 is 80. But again, I've got my 20 here, 80. Add 20 is 100. So I would put a 0 into here, and I would exchange my 100 into the hundreds column. 4 multiplied by 300, well, I know that 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. 12 multiplied by 100 is 1,200 again. 1,200 plus 100 is 1,300. So I put my 300 into my hundreds column, and then I will put my 1,000 into the thousands column. Hopefully this makes sense. So now, guys, I want you to have a go at this one. So this is one with no exchanges, so don't worry if the exchanges, and I've whizzed through them, but don't worry if the exchanges did confuse you a little bit. This is without the exchanges. So remember, first, work out the ones. Next, work out the tens. And then finally, work out the hundreds. Okay, and remember to put them into the correct, so that your ones, into your tens, and into your hundreds. Work this out on the piece of paper. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to pause it, and then afterwards, we can go through it to see if you've got it right. Okay, right, so pause. Okay, so remember, first step, work out the ones. So my ones, 2 multiplied by 2. I know that is straight away 2 lots of 2, or 2 add 2, 4. Nice and easy, and 4 goes into my ones column. Next, my tens. 2 tens multiplied by 2. Again, well, I know that 2 times 2 is 4, but 4 multiplied by 10, and that is 40. So I put my 4 into the tens column. Finally, 4 hundreds multiplied by 2. Well, I know that 4 times 2 is 8, multiplied by 100. 8 times 100 equals 800. So I put my 8 into there. So well done if you got that one right. That was nice and easy. Next, this one has one exchange in. So remember where we put our exchange, if you're exchanging something under, make sure that you're exchanging it underneath the line so it's nice and clear that you're going to be doing so. Remember our first step, work out the ones, next work out the tens, and then finally work out the hundreds. So I'm going to ask you to pause it in a moment, try work through it and try and exchange it correctly, and then we'll see if you got it right. Okay, pause. Right then, so firstly, work out the ones. 6 multiplied by 2, well now that is 12. So I will put 12, I will put my 2 into the ones column, and I would exchange the 110 into the tens column. Next, I would need to work out the tens. So 1 multiplied by 2 is 2, but remember this is a 10, isn't it? So it's 10 multiplied by 2 is 20. But remember, I've still got this exchange one over here, so 20, add one more 10 is 30. So I put my 30 in just like that. And then next, I would work out my hundreds. 4 hundreds times 2 equals 800, nice and easy, into the hundreds column. So 832 should be the correct answer. And then finally, I think this one will have more than one exchange. I think this one will definitely go into the thousands. So try and work this out. Show me where your exchanges are. I'm not going to tell you the order that we should go into. I'm going to leave it blank like that. Remember what we need to do first, ones, next, and then finally. Remember our 3 steps. So in a moment I'm going to ask you to pause it, and then we can go through to see if you've got the right answer. Okay, so pause. Right, then let's see. So first, work out the ones. Next, work out the tens, and then finally work out the hundreds. So firstly, my ones, 6 multiplied by 4, and that is 24. So I'm going to put my 4 in the ones column, and my 2 tens exchanged under into the tens. Next, work out the tens. 2 tens multiplied by 4, well, that 2 times 4 is 8, but remember this is a 20, so 20 times 4 is 80. But remember, I've still got this 220 to add on to my 80, so that is going to be 100. So I'm going to put my 0 into here because it is technically 10, and exchange the 100 over here into the hundreds column. And then finally, work out my hundreds. So 3 hundreds multiplied by 4. I know that 3 times 4 is 12. 12 multiplied by 100 equals 1,200. Lots of 12s this lesson. 1,200, and then I've got my 100 to add on. So that is 1,300. So I put my 3 into the hundreds column, and then my 1,000. Okay, so that is the end. Going to get towards the end of our lesson. So now I would like you to complete the worksheet. Here I've said that there is a choice of worksheets. Unfortunately, there is absolutely just one worksheet that I want you to complete. Give it a go. If this almost kind of doesn't make sense, I will accept you if you want to do the expanded multiplication way, because that is slightly easier and a bit more spread out. However, if you do really want to challenge yourself, give it a go doing this, because this way is the way in which year 5, year 6 and even above year 6 would be working doing this way. So if you can work it out this way, that is incredible. I do understand that it is tricky, and especially with all this home learning where I can't support you as much as I would like to. I do understand that it is tricky. But as long as that you are getting the correct answer and you are showing you're working out, then that is absolutely wonderful, and that is absolutely fine. Okay, so try and complete the worksheets in whichever way that you find best, but remember to do try and challenge yourself by trying my method. And don't forget to upload your work to Teams or to Class Dojo, okay? So thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.